United nil, Arsenal won. We caught life. We really caught life. Like, well, that was to be expected. If you watched my previous video on my game week predictions, I predicted the game was going to go like that, but I didn't totally expect it to be so poor in terms of quality, especially from Arsenal side. So let's dive into the video. Let's look at the positives. Let's start with the positives first. The positive was our defense. So I think we have some of the best defenders in the game. In fact, our two center backs, I think, are the best. They are the best in world football currently, at least in Europe. So that's something to be positive about. They were shaking the first half. But then in the second half, they took control of that defense and they played really well. I was surprised by how well Calafiori was able to mark Buemo and then getting his goal. So in terms of our defending, we did quite well. That's a positive. Then David Raya can be frustrating at times. Sometimes he takes liberties. He can be so casual at times, taking too long to release the ball. But then when it comes to making saves, being in control of your 18-yard box, catching the ball, short stopping, playing out from the back, he's one of the best. If you ask me in the league, I think after Alisson, yes, just Alisson, you will have the in terms of ranking. And yesterday he showed why. That fingertip save to keep out Cunha's shots, the save to keep out Mbuemo's header. So I'm glad we have a world-class goalkeeper and he really saved us yesterday. Then another positive is our ability to get points away from home at top 6 teams. I think in the last 22 matches against the top 6 teams, we've not lost anyone. So that's like 3 years or going to 3 years now of not losing against some of our biggest rivals. So that's a positive. At least this is no longer the days of losing 6-0, 4-1, 5-1 against City, against Liverpool again. So that on its own as well should be a positive. And then yesterday we were a lot more disciplined. In the past, these sort of games will pick up unnecessary yellow cards, will pick up red cards, penalties here and there, you lose our hair. If you noticed in the second half, I think there was a time Ben White went down injured and Man United, they were in a hurry to get the game going. Cunha was all over Ben White, taunting him, pushing him, and you saw the Arsenal players trying to defend him, fight back without going over the board. In the past, that could have degenerated into a melee and then yellow cards and sending off, and so that's a positive. On the negative side, it was a shocking performance in a lot of ramifications for Arsenal. It was our attack was virtually dead. The Gyökeres was isolated. Saka was not really in the game. He was closed down. He was not really in the game. Martinelli was virtually non-existent in terms of his attacking play. He couldn't take on his man, he couldn't run the channel, he couldn't make incisive passes, he couldn't shoot. He was only able to track back and defend, which is good anyway. But in terms of attacking play, putting in crosses, incisive passes, taking the shots, decision making, wow, we were terrible. Odegaard on his part was bad sometimes, not totally throughout the game, but his decision making was below par. We had 3 or 4 chances in the first half to transition, maybe 3 on 3, 4 versus 4 or 4 versus 3 players, swift transitions that other teams will lay the pass, at least have a shot or a pop at the goal. Odegaard will take the wrong decision. He will overhit the pass, he will underhit the pass, he will put the ball out of play. Then Gyökeres was all over the place. He couldn't really get into the game. There was a time, I think he had one of the fullbacks, with him alone. I expected him to cut in, try to take a shot, or, he lay a pass on it. He just stumbled over the ball. So I wouldn't blame him too much. He didn't get enough services, and he's new in the game, in the league. So I guess he's just getting used to the league. Then there was this obvious, there is this obvious mental hurdle that we need to get over, especially against United at Old Trafford. We tend to be too cautious when we are playing. They will not really play our game. We allow them to dictate the game, the flow of the game. We need to get over that mental hurdle, It's not every time we go to Man United away, we'll be struggling, struggling to string our passes together. The performance was just disjointed. Yes, we've gotten to the level of not losing against the big teams, getting points, winning them at times, but going to the opponent's stadium, playing well, dominating the game, making incisive passes, creating chances, and stuff like that. We need to massively, massively improve on that, because if you ask me, as a big team, that's one of the things that we are still lacking. Looking at Man United performance, they played well, at least for a team that finished 15th last season. They gave a really good account of themselves. They were on the front foot. They didn't leave spaces. They were compact, defended really well. When they had to defend, they disrupted our play. They were on the offensive. They were not shy from playing long balls, long diagonal passes. I could count maybe more than 5 times in Euro. Matthias Blatt were switching the game, playing long diagonal passes to Mbeumo or Cunha or Messi Mount. So they gave a good account of themselves. And if they are able to sustain this sort of performances against most oppositions, Man United should be doing well this season. But let's not get carried away anyway. It's the first game of the season now. We know that Man United tends to turn up against the big teams, especially Arsenal. They tend to turn up. So let's see how they perform against Fulham next weekend. But then, if you look at their game, there were some brilliant individual performances. Leniero played really well. Matthias Delight played really well. Then Mbeumo, they had quite a good game, especially Cunha. There was a time was, going through our midfield at will, and so they had a good game. But let's see if they're able to sustain that. And when I mean if they're able to sustain that, I mean getting a win at Fulham. It's not going away to Fulham and then playing well again and losing. That's not an improvement. At least let them get a win away at Fulham and follow it up with a win. And then we can say, okay, there has been a massive improvement from what we know Man United to do last season. My general take on the game and then the player ratings. I think overall it was a tactical game. It was a cagey game. It wasn't really exciting. The two teams obviously cancelled themselves out, but we managed to get a jamming goal and we are happy for it. If you look at the stats for the game, Man United had better chances. They had like 61% possession while we had 39. They had a lot of the phases of play. The XG, I think they had 1.9 and we had 1.3 XG. So generally, if you go by that, you would say that they are the better team. But defending is an art too, and defending is part of football. So we are happy that we won the game, and we are all here for it. Then in terms of player ratings, David Raya, I'll give him a 8. He was our man of the match, so no need for long talks on that. Saliba was a bit shaky in the first half, but second half he did really well. So I'm giving him a 7. The same for his partner, Gabriel. He's a colossus, a massive player for us as well. He played really well. I'm giving him a 7. Our left back, Calafiori, surprised me the way he was able to, mark Mbeumo and then chipping in with the goal as well. So I'm giving him a 7.5. Our right back, Ben White, struggled a bit. He struggled a bit and he made a few errors here and there, but then he was stable. So I'm giving him a 6.5. Going to the midfield, Martins Zubimendi had a so-so game, not so good, not so bad, but at least he was in the game, was not totally out of the game or dominated. So I'm giving him a 6. As for Declan Rice, had a really poor game. If you ask me, by his standard, it was as if he was sick, even covering the spaces, making the runs. Apart from that corner, that assist from the corner kick, he didn't do much. I'm giving him a 5/10 rating. Then on the other wing, Odegaard played okay. He was on the ball a lot of times. The camera kept panning onto him. He played okay, but his final decision making were below par, making incisive passes, shooting, those sort of things. So he didn't do too well in that. But in terms of general play, he played okay. So I'm giving him a 7. In our attack, Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli, they were virtually absent. So in fact, all of them below 7. In fact, that would probably give Saka maybe 6.5 because of that cross he gave, that pass he gave to Madueke that should have been a goal at the end of the game, and then he was defending as well. So giving him a 6.5. Gyökeres, he was just, he didn't play well at all. He didn't play well. Physically, he was up to it, but his decision making, and then he was a bit slow, his pace. So I'm giving him a 6. As for Martinelli, did what he usually does, defend, stop by, was below par. So I'm giving him a 6. As for the substitutes, none of them really impressed me that much, apart from Julian Timber, locked down that right defense. Apart from him, the rest were just, they didn't. In fact, I'm not really going to rate any of them above 6. So generally, it was a good game for my results for Arsenal, and we're happy with that. Moving on to the other games of the weekend. If you watch my prediction video, you see that I got most of the predictions right, apart from the Chelsea game, and the Aston Villa game ended in a 1-1 draw also. Then it ended in a draw. So I knew it was going to be a tough game versus it's never an easy game. It was expected. The surprising result was Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Chelsea, World Club champions, bought a lot of new players, new impetus. We're expecting them to take the league by the storm. Cole Palmer was virtually anonymous in that game. Eze was doing bits, but Palmer, Enzo didn't play well. So Chelsea, I wasn't impressed by their performance, neither their results. They drew the game. Liverpool, people are predicting them to win the league and run away with it, but their performance on Friday didn't, look like a team is going to run away with the league. They may win the league, but I don't think they are going to run away with the league. Bournemouth was in that game till towards the end of the game. Forget those two, final goals to win the game, which is what good teams do. Liverpool have good firepower, but their defense, their defense is a bit shaky, and they are leaking goals at the moment. So it was a good performance for them, and a nice way to start the league. The most impressive performance of the weekend came from Tottenham and Manchester City. Tottenham blowing away Burnley, Kudus doing his thing. Tottenham are looking like they are going to be having a good season, and they are playing Manchester City next weekend, so it's going to be a cracker. Man City as well, they just brushed aside Wolves. Like I said in my last video, I said that Pep Guardiola is not just going to fold his hands and allow Liverpool run away with the league. You know what Pep can do, and he's beginning to show it again. So we're all here for it. We are massively looking forward to next weekend and the rest of the season. So if you've enjoyed our content and you want to encourage us, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, share the video, turn on the notifications and algorithm. Algorithm is everything in content creation, and it has been nice speaking with you guys.